Welcome back to my booktube channel. My name is Melissa. I am the reclusive reader, and we are back with another monthly reading roundup. These are going to be all of the books that I read during the month of February. It's a mix of audiobook, Kindle, ARCs, physical copies. This is probably the most books I've read a month in a while. I read a total of 10 books this month, and that's a little more than I'm used to. I usually hit about 8 because I usually go through the majority are audiobooks. I feel like at the end of every month, I think, oh my gosh, this is probably the best month I have had in a while. And I'm like, I literally think that every month. In 2025 is the year of DNFing, and books like I'm not really feeling, I am not reading. I'm not going to waste my time. So all these books I read, all of them are above a 3-star. All of them I would recommend. And I am just excited to share all of my books that I read in February with you. Let me know below if you read any of these books. Let me know what your favorite book from your February books read was. I love to grow my never-ending TBR, so I'm always down for book recs, so let me know below. And thanks for being here. I love sharing my journey on here with you all, and I've been having seriously such a fun time making these videos, so I hope you're all enjoying them as much as I am. The first book I'm going to talk about is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I absolutely love this. It's like somebody posted a thread the other day, so now I'm living by this, like enemies to lovers. Like you have to be like wanting to, like, you know what, like that's an enemies to lovers. This made me understand like rivals to lovers, and that's where it hits. I feel like in the romantasy, like I definitely feel like ACOTAR, like it's all like rivals to lovers. And this served, let me tell you. It's about Roman and Iris. They both started working at a newspaper company, and they were rivals, like kind of shooting for the same job and stuff. It's such a good representation of like a real world. Like it felt real world, but with like fantasy elements, like gods and goddesses and stuff. And that's what the main story was about, like this whole war going on with the gods, and they're like writing newspaper articles about it. So I seriously obsessed with this. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 star. The reason I didn't give it 5 stars is because I just didn't personally like fall in love with all of the side characters. I just didn't like engross myself in them. I wouldn't read like spin-offs for them. So that's why. Other than that though, like I seriously love this book, would recommend this book. I immediately dove into Ruthless Vows. Just thought it was the perfect romantasy, rivals to lovers, just everything. It was just so swoony. I just was seriously obsessed. Next up, to keep it cohesive, we are going to do Ruthless Vows. This was obviously the part 2 of the duology, the Letters of Enchantment duology. And this book was just because Divine Rivals ended on like a cliffy. So you like needed and wanted to jump into this super fast. And I'm glad I got it on Libby. Now, I gave this a 4 star, 4 out of 5 star. It just didn't have me like gripping like that first one did. I don't know, it's like, I don't know if it was like the freshness of the world and stuff that I just was enjoying in the first one. And this one was really good. Like I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. Love Iris and Roman, like loved Forrest, her brother, and the whole action and all of it was really good. Like, yeah, I thought it was a really good and satisfying ending to the duology. And the Letters of Enchantment duology, I would 10 out of 10 recommend for all romantasy lovers because it was so great, and I actually can't wait to read more Rebecca Ross. Next up, we have a probably smut box book that I was like having trouble for a little bit at the beginning of the month, just sitting down and being able to like focus on reading for some reason. Like I just like had to get up and do stuff. You know what helped? This tiny little book, The Final Rose by Amy Oliveira. It was in the probably smut box, and it's like she works at The Bachelor. I'm just going to call it The Bachelor. He is like a rich prominent British man that's in America just trying to look for love, and then obviously they fall in love, and it was just such a cute little like short read. The spice was awesome. I thought the setup, like, you know, was unique. Now, I'm not a Bachelor fan personally, I just don't watch it, but I thought this was like a really fun, quick, easy read. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars because I really liked it. I didn't fall in love with it, but I really liked it the whole way through and just thought it was a good time. If it sounds good for you, it's The Final Rose by Amy Oliveira. Next up, we have one of the most anticipated reads of the year, and I don't want to say bad because I feel like it was a pretty solid book, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about Onyx Storm really quick. Now, I'm not going to go into a whole in-depth video or anything because I'm just going to try to keep it light for the wrap-up. This was a great romantasy. Did I feel like she just put in spice to put it in? Maybe. Did I enjoy it every second of the way? Absolutely. So I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, which is good, but I just felt like Violet was kind of irritating me a little bit at times because I'm like, bro, your man's going through it, like, let him be. But it was seriously, it was gripping, it was action-packed. I totally had to take it like bit by bit because it was just seriously so much, especially at the beginning. Like, I feel like Rebecca could have like twinkled some of that world building in the beginning of this into the first other books, but I thought it was a decent third book in the Empyrean series. I really liked it, and I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Next up, we have a book of the month that I ended up getting the audiobook through Libby because I am seriously obsessed when celebrities read their memoirs. I got Dinner for Vampires by Bethany Joy Lenez. This, seriously, I literally cannot believe this happened to her. It's actually crazy how well of a story this is. Like, it's like seriously so crazy. I felt like I was like, this isn't a memoir. Like, this is like I'm listening to a fiction book. Like, it's literally crazy. And I am so happy for her to have gotten out of the situation. And, you know, I feel like I always say this too with any type of celebrity memoir or biography. I just want more. Like, she touched on One Tree Hill, but it was always like kind of doing with the cult. Like, I want like just One Tree Hill stuff. I want like or just like her life after it now, like living her life as like, I'm sure she's acting in other things, which I should probably look up. Yeah, always want more. I just wanted more. So this was just a great story. It's like kind of a shorter one, and I would definitely recommend it if you're a One Tree Hill fan, or just like kind of like a fan of like the whole cult thing and stuff. It's very interesting to see how it just can happen without you even realizing it. Like, to be honest, like, it's like just scary how that could happen. So yeah, Dinner for Vampires by Bethany Joy Lenez. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Would recommend. The next book I don't have yet, but I know it's on the way, and it's A Scoring Chance by my girl AJ Alexander. Now, this is a small town hockey romance, and I was eating it up. It was so good. Cooper, Ramona, the vibe, the spice, the tension, the everything had me gripped the whole time. I think this is my favorite book of the month because it was just so good, written so well. I was engrossed in the world. I can't wait. I love the brothers. I can't wait for more of the brothers because I know that the brother story and all the side characters I was obsessed with. I loved it so much and thought it was amazing. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars because I just devoured it and I loved every second of the way. A Scoring Chance by AJ Alexander. Next up, we have The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book in the original Mistborn trilogy. This was probably one of the best fantasy books like I ever read. The reason why I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars is just because As much as I loved the story. I loved Vin. I loved Elend. I loved Xander, the brother. Like, this was such a good story. Oh, I forgot to mention, I love 𝚎𝚐. 𝚎𝚐 is my man. Don't mess with him. So as much as I loved everything about it, and I loved the story, and I loved the characters, and I did love the growth, he almost like does just a little too much character growth for me, where it's just like a battle is like 10 pages and it just takes me a really long time to read, and I'm just like, we're still going through it. But then once I'm done, I'm super satisfied, and I'm like, that was freaking wild, and I love that. I do love Vin's growth. I was not a big fan of Vin in the first book. As much as I love the first book, I wasn't a big fan of her because she was like giving me a little immature, like a little like just, I was like, what's going on? And that's like the point. That's how Brandon writes. Like, he is so good at character growth. It's just like, it's unmatched. So physically reading all of this, it took me a really long time, but it was really worth it. So The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. And I also feel like the original Mistborn trilogy is a really great place to start if you're starting your Brandon Sanderson journey, because he also said, I literally saw him say that. So I'm not just making that up. So loved it. The next book, I got it in special edition, so I got it through the Libby app to read on audiobook because I do not like to tap my special editions, is The Night Ends with Fire by 𝓕𝓮𝓫𝓻𝓾𝓪𝓻. Look at those stunning edges. The artwork on the inside is so pretty. I just really like this edition a lot. And I saw it, and I saw that it was a Mulan retelling, and I was like, I'm totally gonna get it because it was like on sale at Barnes and Nobles or something. I devoured it. I thought it was just such a great twist on the whole Mulan retelling. I didn't love the ending, but I loved how it wasn't the most generic ending. Like, it was a crazy ending, and it was really sad, and it was like, it's actually, really gives you something to think about. She just made it so much more mature in the right ways. That's like a really good way to put it. And boy, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get the next book when it comes out. I forget what it's called, but it has to do with her and the dragon. I'm super excited. So it comes out, I think it comes out this year or maybe early next year in 2026. But yeah, The Night Ends with Fire by 𝓕𝓮𝓫𝓻𝓾. If you like, Mulan, this is really good. Or just fantasy with like a little romantasy, really good. All right, the next book I don't have yet, but I know I'm going to be getting it when it comes out. This is an ARC by K.W. Foster. It's A Vow of Wrath and Ruin. It's book 2 in the Mindbreaker series. And I beta read this and I ARC read this again because I loved it so much. I wanted to dive back in with Aaliyah, Theron, and Caden. And oh my gosh, that ending. Oh no, I can't think about it because let me just say, it was so good. This series, the Mindbreaker series, is just such an iconic romantasy series. And it's actually my first like love triangle, and I'm here for it. Book was action-packed from beginning to end. And it wasn't really as spicy, but like when the spice hit, girl, it hit, and we were all here for it, let me tell you. If you haven't checked out, the book 1 is A Curse of Breath and Blood. Book 2, A Vow of Wrath and Ruin, coming out in April of this year by K.W. Foster. So if you are a romantasy fan, you better check it out. All right, my last book that I just finished recently, I was so obsessed. I loved it so much. Sith and Sparrow by Bran Weaver, the third and final book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. This follows Fionn Kane and Rose Evans, and we know them from the first 2 books. And Fionn is a doctor, and Rose works as like a tarot reader, and this biker girl that bikes in the cage and stuff. And this was a solid 4 out of 5 stars for me. The spice hit where I felt like it needed to hit. I'm not like a huge circus like fair vibe girl, but this, I was here for it. The spice was spicing, the action was actioning. I loved Rose, I loved her demeanor, I loved her vibe, I loved what she was doing in the world. Fionn was struggling, Fionn was going through it, but Fionn came out on top, and that's all that matters. And all of the bonus chapters, all of the epilogues, they were awesome. Like, I seriously just loved all of it. Really did it in this book. Like, because I love Butcher and Blackbird, Leather and Luck was like, but this book, I think this was my favorite in the series, Scythe and Sparrow by Brianne Weaver. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. So that's a wrap. That is all of the books that I read during the month of February. Let me know if you read any of these below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite read from the month of February was, so I can add it to my TBR. Right now, your girls are reading Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, and I'm loving it. I really appreciate you watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe below and leave me a comment so we can connect and we can chit chat, because I'm here for it. Thank you. Love you. Bye.